How's it going, YouTube? My name is Sherbert, and everything we know about Super People will be changing in December. There is a gigantic update coming just right around the corner that's really going to revolutionize how we play and how we look at Super People from here on out. It is really interesting to see. So if you didn't know, last night the Super People team hosted another developer live stream where they went ahead and they talked about all the changes that are happening in December's update, and there are a lot of changes. And I'm a big old dork, so I took down a bunch of notes, and in this video we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about the biggest talking points of last night's live stream. And there are a lot of talking points. They are going to change a lot of things in Super People. Now, I'll also be sure to put the link to the actual live stream in the description down below so you guys can check that out. But like I said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to cover the biggest talking points. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the removal of the crafting system inside of Super People. So in December's update, there will be no more crafting in Super People. The developers felt that people were spending too long looting and crafting and not enough time fighting. They felt that the momentum just wasn't there, that the pacing wasn't there. They wanted more faster engagements. So one way to do that is the removal of the crafting. So it says altogether, the players will have to focus more on fast-paced gameplay. So you're just going to load in, you drop, you find whatever rarity is on the ground, and then you just instantly start fighting. You no longer have to worry about finding materials. You no longer have to worry about finding knee pads or, common crafting kits or gold. You're just going to get down to the nitty-gritty, and that is just to win the battle royale, just to shoot other players and knock them out. So no more crafting here on out come December. They did do a test session back in March where they did remove crafting. It worked perfectly fine. I liked crafting. I thought it was a very unique aspect of Super People, but I understand the reasoning of taking it out. So we will no longer be able to craft in December. Now, another big thing that they're doing is they're removing specialized weapons and leveling stats from the game. So you will no longer be able to do extra damage for using a certain gun. Specialized weapons as a whole are being removed from Super People. So you have a lot more freedom to use whatever guns you find, which I think is very interesting. And again, they are getting rid of the leveling stats in the game. So like, let's just say you're level 20, you do more damage, you run faster, you have more health. Those three base stats will be removed as well. And it says you will no longer be able to use damage for using a specific gun or receiving damage, health, and speed buff from being a higher level. And they are also removing damage skill buffs from skills. So like Firearms Expert's mix and match, cover fire rights, leaning bonuses, anything that gave you an extra bonus damage for some sort of situational perk, it will be removed. So Firearms Expert's basically just getting a really big nerf from this. There's no more cover fire right from like Seeker and things like that. So they're just basically kind of balancing things out. They want to make these fights feel a little bit more 50-50 than, the 90-10. Sometimes you just get steamrolled, and oftentimes it's because of a leveling advantage, a bonus damage advantage, just things like that. So they're trying to minimize that TTK or the even engage, which I think is perfectly fine. So no more specialized weapon, no more leveling stats, no more damage skill buffs. We are going to see the removal of that. We will still have power bar buffs or energy bar buffs. That is still very much going to be in the game, but again, no mix and match, no cover fire right. So, and it says another thing they're doing is reducing the level cap from 27 down to 12. 27 was the highest you could get right now currently in Super People. They're going to downgrade that down to 12. And they're also starting every player off at level 3. So players will really rely on really only have to grind the 9 levels to get to max cap. Again, I think this have to do with pacing. I think the developers just want more fast-paced, action-packed things. They don't want players to worry about, hey, oh my gosh, I'm level 6 or 7. I can't get in these fights. I have to level more. It felt a lot more like a fast-paced MMORPG than it did a battle royale. So I'm really happy to see that the pacing is going to kind of get caught up with Super People. It says, which brings us to skills. Now the skills are also getting a big rework. Each class will have 2 active skills and 2 passive skills. And if you look at Sniper right here, they use Sniper as an example. He'll have his unique perk, which is something that is only available to that particular class, which for Sniper is defensive aiming. And then after that, it's followed by his ultimate Deadeye, and then his active skills, Amplifier and Precision Bomb, followed by his steady shot, so his other passive, which I think is really interesting. I think we're getting a massive rework in our skills, and so they're also combining skills, which I think is really cool. For example, Sniper's ghillie suit's actually going to be combined with his Deadeye skill, his ultimate. So we're not necessarily losing perks; they're just kind of getting meshed together. We're going to see a combination of a couple of things. We are losing some, like the damage skill buffs, but that's perfectly fine. That's more of a balancing issue. And it says the developers did this because they said it was to even the playing field between skill levels. The skills felt very RNG at times, and if you landed with a certain skill already leveled, you may be in a better spot than a player who got one that wasn't as useful. So like, let's say you land with sniper with an amplifier or sniper with a precision bomb, and you're shotgun master and you have like knockback, or you have your driver and you just have like a car, things like that. It just felt a little unbalanced. So they are trying to just level the playing field, which I thought was really, really cool. It says they also said they wanted to reduce unnecessary damage variables. You will also have to level up your ultimate now. So your ultimate's actually going to have 3 skills to level. So you land at level 3. You've got your 3 core abilities that need to be leveled along with your ultimate, which also requires 3 separate levels to get it to max. So you don't just get your ultimate right out the gate and it's already at like full force. You eventually have to level that as well to get to level 12. But I think getting to level 12 is going to be super, super easy. So I think that was really, really rad. We're also seeing a huge overhaul of the UI. The new UI looks really, really cool. If you look down below, you can see that we do have the ultimate and then the 3 skills. It's a demolisher. They gave us an example. So we have the shoulder launcher, and then we have the RC car. We've got siege mode, and then we have the advanced power bar skill. So every single ability does need to be leveled, but level 12 isn't that hard to get. You can usually get that when you leave the first compound, which would be super, super easy. I think the UI looks really slick. Somebody in chat said it looked a lot like Overwatch 2. You have a really cool like Overwatch fun dynamic. If you look at the very bottom right, we no longer have like the skill tree. It is just going to be your weapon, your armor health, your armor durability, how much your weapon is doing, how much damage your weapon is doing, and then a power bar slot, which I think is really nice. It looks really slick. They said this wasn't like for sure like 100% going to be it, but it's going to be something very similar to this. I really like how the UI looks. I think it looks really slick. So I'm very, very happy with that. It also says that we should be seeing a test server in late November so players can try out this update before it goes live in the December's update. So expect that maybe next week, if not the week followed. There really isn't that many days left in November. So expect a PTR, expect a test server very, very soon. So you guys get the feel of it before the big update comes. And it also says that they're also changing the equipment rarities. So this is actually, this is another big talking point. This is a big one. It says they are removing gray, common, and green uncommon weapons and armor from floor loot. So the lowest you can possibly get from here on out as floor loot goes is blue advanced. And then for weapons, it goes advanced, rare, heroic, legendary, and mythical. Those are the only 5 tiers of weapon rarities that we'll get. They said that purple was going to be the most common. Purple's going to be pretty easy to find. And mythical is actually going to be very, very rare. I'd be really curious to see how rare it is. I would love to see maybe 1 or 2 in a game. I don't want to see like 5 or 6 players walking around with mythical weapons. I think that would be too much. Again, that would kind of hinder the balance that I think they're really striving for. So 1 or 2 gold guns would be perfectly fine. But they did say it was going to be rare. We're also going to see some armor changes too. These are some really new armor changes that is happening. Again, there's going to be no more gray or green armor, but we are going to see advanced blue, rare purple, heroic orange, and then we're going to see legendary and mythical armor variations. So expect higher tier armor in December's update, which I think would be really, really interesting. So it's pretty cool. So just to recap, there's going to be no more crafting. Armor and weapon rarities will be a lot more balanced. They're not going to be so one-sided now. The dev said they wanted to reduce unnecessary damage variables. So they really wanted to make sure that you feel like you're, satisfied with these engagements. You're not getting steamrolled. A lot of times players just felt very discouraged. They're like, dude, I can't win a fight. Everyone's a higher level. Everyone just does more damage. They're really trying to level that out to make sure the player base as a whole is very happy, in terms of like, hey, I won, or hey, I died. Like you never felt cheated, I guess is what they're trying to feel with these updates. And I'm all for it. I think that looks really good. So it says, because the devs are redoing the skill trees, they are also removing the red, green, and blue super capsules and will only have white and gold pills available just because there's no particular like skill tree to level anymore. They're removing the super capsules altogether with the exception of white and gold. Now, what's really cool is that players are now able to search for pills by removing the find material button to use for a find capsule button. So if you're crafting and you click the little magnifying glass, you can like find knee pads, or you can find like broken glass or like common crafting kits and things like that. That is no longer going to be the case. Instead, you'll now be able to look for pills of white and gold, which I think is really cool, just to kind of help the leveling progression. Again, they're not making it difficult to get to level 12. Getting to level 12 should be a walk in the park. And I think they're going to try to maximize how easy it is for players to get to level 12, to get their ultimate, to get going and start fighting. So I think that's really, really fun. So we are going to see the removal of the find material, search bar for a find super capsule bar. Totally cool. It says we're also seeing a bigger incentive for killing in the early game. Currently, players can only level up once when they get a kill. So your kill bonus, it only happens once. You only get one level right now in this version of Super People. In December's, you actually get 3 separate kill bonuses. So you land at level 3, you kill 3 people, you're already at level 6. So you're already halfway to max. They're really trying to incentivize this early game fighting, these early game pushes. I think this is a really good way to do it. You don't even really need to find pills. You just need to kill some people and you can get halfway to max level really, really quickly. So very fun, very incentivizing for murder and violence very early on in the game. It is also saying that they're increasing the base movement speed and decreasing the parkour animation. So you're going to run a lot faster. You're going to parkour up buildings a lot quicker, over fences a lot quicker. We're going to see a lot more quicker, faster paced gameplay, which I'm all for. I know I like the momentum. I like the speed. I think this is a really good addition to December's update. So I'm all for it. Slide will also be available for every single class inside of December's update. As of right now, it is only exclusive for Gatling Soldier and only exclusive for Strike Force. That is no longer going to be the case. Everyone's going to be able to slide in December's update. I think this is going to be a very, very good, addition in terms of movement, in terms of like mobility. I love it. I think this is a really good thing. I've been sliding a lot more thanks to really good players in our community. Like Gotcha recommends sliding all the time. It's very fun. I love it. I think it's cool. They'll also be increasing the player size of the lobby to 80. At the moment, it's like 60 to 70. That will be bumped up to 80, just again to increase the chances of getting in these early game fights. They don't want people to loot for like 10 minutes only to die. They really want to discourage, the whole like farming for somebody else kind of mentality. They want you to land in, they want you to shoot, they want you to get in some fights. And one way they're doing that is just increasing the lobby size. So all for that. That's super cool. You got me there. And it says they are addressing the ping and rendering issues. They said the developers are making it their top priority. I know right now you can't ping through windows. I know sometimes you land and you can't find, you get your gun, but there's no ammo that spawns in for a while. They are working on it actively. It is a top priority. Don't expect it in December's update, but just know that they're working on it. They've been working on it. I'm sure it's not an easy fix, but it's something that's going to be addressed. After that, it says they are also working on sound issues, and that is also a top priority. Again, the sound in Super People is not great, but it is getting better, and it is something that they are actively working on. So I'm all for that. That's perfectly fine. And it says we will be getting an update next week where they'll be nerfing Firearms Expert and reducing the vehicle sound. The devs thought that it was too loud. The vehicle sound was too loud, so they're nerfing that a little bit. We're also going to see a nerf to shotguns. We're also going to see a nerf to shotgun masters. So Firearms Expert is incredibly broken. I'm surprised it took this long for them to nerf it, but it does require a certain level of finessing to balance, certain classes. So I'm sure they tried to find the best possible balance for Firearms Expert, and it just so happens to have taken this long. So Firearms Expert will be getting a nerf. Thank you. Shotgun Master will be receiving a little bit of a nerf, but there's going to be a lot more of a balancing thing. You're not going to feel so cheated if you come across a Firearms Expert anymore. So expect that update sometime next week, which will be really, really nice. And it says they're also removing gold requirements for picking classes. It will now be free to pick your classes, so you can play whatever you want. They didn't really like the idea of, using the option of picking your class behind a paywall. That's why they gave us 100 tickets. They really wanted to remove that incentive to having to pay to switch your classes. So that will no longer be the case in December's update. You can just pick and play whoever you want because we're expecting a lot more of a balanced gameplay, which I think is perfectly fine. It says we're also getting a battle pass in December. So December's update's also going to hold on to a battle pass where you'll get exclusive battle pass outfits and emotes. The emotes look super fun, really cool. I'm absolutely buying this. I think this is a very cool, I'm all for giving Super People my money. The emotes are fun. The game looks good. I love it. We'll also be seeing 2 new compounds to Orb Island. One is some sort of bamboo forest. The other one is an underground cave system. Both look pretty fun. I'd be curious to see how the underground cave system operates. If it's going to be similar to like how the little mine thing in Hexagram works. I'm not too sure. So I'd be really curious to see where the underground cave system is going to go. They did also say that they're reworking Titan and Demolisher classes because they felt that, they're stats, their gameplay just wasn't up to par with the rest of the classes. So we are going to see some reworks of those two classes. We also hinted at another class coming. They didn't really give any details, but they did say the class is going to be nimble. So expect maybe like a cute cat class or something fun. I don't know. I'm just guessing. So we are having a third new class confirmed. Not enough details. It's not coming in December, but maybe expect it February, maybe March, maybe. So another class is on the way. And it says we'll also be seeing a change in the damage log. So when you shoot somebody, instead of doing like quick math to the side of the side of the screen where it's like 14.7, 13.2, 11.1, instead of having like quick math, it'll just actually have an HP bar above the player's name. So you can actually see what HP level they're at. This will really help with being aggressive. This will really help with pushing. This is going to be a really, really good, I think, incentive to kind of get people to be a little bit more aggressive when they kind of beam those first initial shots. So again, no more damage log on the side. You are going to get just a health bar, which is a great quality of life. Perfectly fine. Love it. It says there will also be a big tournament coming in December. So expect something big, maybe on the scale of what it was in the final beta. Final beta's tournament was insane, brought a lot of hype to the game, was a lot of cash prizes. I think we did the math. I think Super People gave out like $1 million in cash prizes or something like that. It was a lot of money. So really, really interesting to see a big tournament coming. I would love to get more into it. I think that'd be really fun to get some more blood into Super People. It says they're also reworking tournaments so that kills give more points and make placement less important. So we're going to see a lot more action-packed tournaments and a lot less passive gameplay in these tournaments people were like worried about placement and things. After that, it says that weapon skins are still on the books. They're not really on anybody's top to-do list. There's a lot of other things that need to be done before we can get to weapon skins, but just know weapon skins are coming in the future. There's also going to be a replay system in the near future. I wouldn't expect it in December's update, but just know it's right around the corner. Again, maybe January or February. That is also saying that they're considering proximity chat and they are considering ranked match. So it's neither a yes nor a no, but they're kind of playing with the idea. Again, there's a lot of things on their plate. There's a lot of things they kind of need to work on before they can kind of like have these like luxury updates. And then lastly, it says that the advertising team for Super People is really going to step it up in December. There's going to be a lot of new advertisements coming to really kind of boast the player base with this new December update. It said the marketing team is working on advertisements. Suspect a lot. We might see Twitch drops. We might see streamer advertising. We might see maybe some commercial breaks. We just don't know what they're doing, but expect a big marketing push in December. I think this is exactly what Super People needed. I think Super People was really desperate for a very, very good update. It looks like we're getting it. They are very, very desperate for some good tournaments and some good marketing. It also does look like we're getting it. So I'm very happy with this update. At first, I was a little skeptical. At first, I was a little like, oh gosh, dude, I don't know. But the more I kind of like, the more I was talking with chat and the more, we kind of like pieced it together, I think it's going to be a very good quality of life update for Super People. The pacing seems to be really good. The fighting seems to be right where it needs to be. It looks like it's going to balance out the weapon rarities, the damage variables, the perk variables. It seems like everything's going to be a lot more of a balanced gameplay here on out come December. So I would love to hear what you guys think about this. Let me know in the comment section down below if this is something that you guys enjoy, if there's anything that you guys have any questions about. I would love to make a video, help you or the community out. That's our whole gimmick here. I love making videos for y'all. Also too, don't forget to join our Discord, and I do stream right here on YouTube Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'll most likely be live when this video drops, so be sure to come on in and say hi. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next video. All right, bye.